What's up, guys? ViperFV here, and if you haven't already seen, I have the ImmersionRC RapidFIRE module in. And if you don't already know what this module is about, pretty much what it does is it takes two, receiver inputs, video inputs, and it meshes it into one image, one crisp, clear image, and it's supposed to provide you with pretty much the best FPV experience you can get without having all the blur and all the breakup when you're flying around trees, and especially in like bandos and inside buildings and whatnot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring it to the bench. We're going to do an unboxing. Then we're going to go ahead and go to the field and kind of give you my input of what's going on, what you see, and then we're going to wrap up with exactly my thoughts about this module. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright guys, so we have the RapidFIRE goggle module from ImmersionRC, and let's go ahead and unbox it, see what's inside of it, and then what we're going to go ahead and do is go to the field and see how it performs. So, I already took off the clear plastic off of it already, and as you notice right away, we get two different goggle, doors here, and get that out. So this one right away, this one is for the Attitude V4 goggles, I believe, or the V3 goggles. And we also have the ribbon cable and also the little module you can install. Let me take it out of the package so you can see it. So if you're running Dominator, anything but the HDOs or the Attitude V4s, you're pretty much going to want to install this ribbon cable, or you can do the goggle mod where you remove that little, it's a capacitor, I believe. And so this is how thin the actual ribbon cable is, and you can just install it in front of your goggles. And then, if I'm right, then this goes into the module bay door where you would have like your diversity for the LaForge or whatever, and it'll just grab an extra power from there. And it slides right into that little diversity, not the diversity, but the head tracker port that you would use. So put these things aside here. Now this is the actual module itself. And since I do have HDOs, I can slide this right in without having to worry about any of the power mods. Let's take that off here. It has these little nubs here to protect the SMA connectors. If I can pop them off. There we go. Gotta pinch it. There we go. Now they're off. Let's take that off real quick. And that's the module itself right there. And it has a little USB port so we can update it, the firmware. And let's also talk about this too here. We have the stickers, but these stickers, this is like a patch antenna, like the ImmersionRC patch you can put on it. And then these stickers, actually, if you use this, where is it? The ribbon cable, you can actually put this in the front of your goggles and then put the sticker over it so you don't even see the ribbon cable at all. It's really thin, so you probably won't even notice it. But all this thing aside, let me go ahead and install this thing on my goggles, and let's go ahead and go through the menu. So get my goggles here. Out with the old Trudy. There we go. In with the new RapidFIRE. There we go. And I believe this was the one for the... Yep. Just pop in there. Like so. That's pretty easy install. Kind of easier than the Trudy, because the Trudy has this like on there and it's like built onto it, so you have to like make sure you line those pins up, but this thing goes on real nice. So let me go ahead and power it up. And it's fine to run a receiver without the antennas on. It's not a transmitter. So then we have the main screen right here. And this is how we can go right, we'll change our channels. Left, we'll change our channels. Up, we'll go on the bands. well, actually no, left and right changes your bands, and then up and down changes your channels. So let me go ahead and push it in, and this is where we can change our band as well, and we also can go to our favorites as well. So I am actually on band E, and I'm on channel 3. And these are our tools. This is the spectrum analyzer, where pretty much you can check, you put your transmitter on, you put this on, and then make sure that it's like actually on the same exact channel, and you can adjust it from there. And then we have favorites, calibration, which is already pre-calibrated from the factory. And then we have RapidFIRE, which is used to both the modules in here to make that really clear picture. Or we have Legacy, which is like a standard diversity system, I believe. Yeah. And then we have the antennas. You can also, with this, either use your lower antenna or your upper antenna. So say if you want to just do long range and you just wanted to use one antenna, like their patch, you can just set it up that way. Or if you're just going to use both, use both. And then we also have the OSD from the actual video on your screen as well, which is really awesome. And you can shut it off and put it on or do whatever you want. And then this is the status. I think it just tells you the firmware on it. Yep. Low power, no. That means if you see yes there, that means you have to run that cable as well, or do the goggle module, the goggle mod. And another little neat feature that's actually not listed that they were talking about, they did a hidden feature. This actually has a built-in accelerometer in it. And they kind of left that open for everybody to see what they want from it. So my personal thoughts is have it to where if you notice that your head's going down, make a beep or something, so then you have the ideal antenna set up. Like if you have a patch and stuff pointing at your quad, if you put your head down, it actually can cause signal loss or deterioration out of your signal. So I think that'd be a really neat idea. Although people have recommended doing something to the degree if you put it down and you kind of forget it's not being used, it will beep saying, hey, you haven't touched it. It's probably just left unpowered, so it'll remind you. So I think there's some really neat little things that you can probably do with this accelerometer that's in here. And they did say that the next firmware update, they might go ahead and turn it on with some additional features. It might be a little bit. It depends on how developed they are and with what features they wanted to put into it. Because I think they really wanted community feedback on what they wanted to have in this to do with the accelerometer. So let's go ahead and go out to the field and let's see how this thing does. See you there. Alright guys, so this is the footage from me using the crosshair patch and a pagoda antenna. And to let you guys know right now, pretty much this DVR and the Fat Shark goggles sucks. And what I go ahead and do right away is I go ahead and go as far out as I feel comfortable going. And if you look at the top of the screen too, you'll notice that it has the OSD, not the OSD, but the RSSI from the module itself. And you can shut that off if you don't like it, so you can kind of see how strong the signal is and whatnot. But I went out pretty far and I came back, didn't really notice any breakup at all. And I'm starting to get a little bit of breakup now on the DVR, but on my goggles it was completely clear. I only had a couple times when it was actually it got a little staticky, and that's when I was kind of going over some metal buildings, like over the roofs. I guess getting some multipathing, but other than that, it was a really clear, crisp image. And I don't know if it's just me or what, but I felt like the image looked better on the goggles themselves, like from opposed to the TrueD module. I felt like it was like a lot more clearer or something like that. I'm not sure if that's just me or just whatever, but so we're here. I kind of go underneath this to see if I can get any breakup, and see how you see on this recording, since this is from the Fat Shark goggles, this didn't look like this at all. It was actually pretty clear the entire way with really no static. Only a couple times I got a little hiccup with some static, but it was a pretty clear image. So yeah, so go ahead and Here I go ahead and crash. All right, so right here, this is using the 2 pagoda antennas, not using a patch, not a patch, but not a crosshair. Kind of wanted to see if there's any difference. And what I noticed for freestyle, I actually noticed it was a little worse. I actually just started getting more static when using the 2 pagoda antennas. So if you're doing doing freestyle, I probably recommend just using a patch and using a circular polarized antenna as well. If you're doing long range, you can just go ahead and use a patch or a crosshair or whatever. And I am also shooting, this was on my Rooster, so this was on 800 milliwatts with the Unify. And again, like I said, I'm going underneath this thing to see if I can get some static, and like I said, in the goggles, it is not like that at all. It's just the DVR on the Fat Sharks just really sucks. Like I said, the only time I had some breakup is when I actually had the 2 antennas, the 2 circular polarized pagodas on the craft, and I was going on top of like those metal buildings over there, you'll see, and I'll go over those, and then I start getting some static. Here I go ahead and do like a long range, or try to go out a little bit and see how it does, which I was actually pretty surprised how much range I had on 2 of this regular antennas, not using a crosshair or a patch. So I go out about the same distance, and then I come back. I'm still not comfortable yet really going out too far, even though I have the crossfire and I have, you know, good antennas and whatnot. I just don't feel comfortable yet, or I really didn't want to go look for my quad if I kept going. And like I said, that DVR sucks because it never did that. Never blacked out like that. And what's really cool about this is that even when the static does come, you still have a really good image. See, I started trying to get close to that, and I did have a little bit of static in there when I got close to that metal building, like a metal roof right there. Alright guys, so we're back, and I want to give you my final input on the ImmersionRC RapidFIRE. If you're a freestyle pilot, I don't think you can go wrong with purchasing this. It does have a little bit more of an advantage, especially if you're doing some bandos or multipathing, a lot of multipathing environments. You'll definitely notice a difference in the performance of your module. Now, if you're doing long range, I really don't think you'll have a really great benefit. The only thing you might have is maybe decreased in how much power consumption it's using, because you can shut off one of the receivers and then just use your patch or your crosshair or whatever you're using for long range and just powering off that one. So you might actually have some improved battery life on your battery on your Fat Sharks or whatever you're using to actually use this module. But using maybe in a house, using it in, you know, really heavy like metal buildings and whatnot, definitely makes this module shine. Even in a race environment, when you have a lot of people racing with you, it probably will make it feel a lot better. So I probably recommend this for some racers, and definitely recommend it for some freestyle pilots, especially if you guys are doing a lot of things with inside buildings, around buildings. Out in the open area, you really don't notice really a big difference. I mean, you do have occasional issues when you go behind a tree, when you're using a Trudy or whatnot, but this seems like they work pretty well. I've tried using it like going inside of a tree, like kind of going in the branches and whatnot, which I did not have pretty much good video because it's just the DVR looked horrible on it. But just trust me, it did look pretty damn good. Didn't really have much breakup at all. So this is something I definitely recommend to really anybody to purchase. So what I'm going to do is leave some product links down in the description. If you want to go ahead and appreciate, you guys want to support me, you can go ahead and use those links. Those are affiliate links. They do not cost you more money. It just costs the retailer more to give me a cut of the deal. But I'm going to go ahead and try to do some more videos. I wish I had another set of goggles to where I can do head-to-head comparison between like Trudy or LaForge with this module, but I just don't. But I am looking to see if I have some buddies that I can let me borrow their goggles or let me have record off their goggles, and I have my goggles as well, so I can do a head-to-head comparison, show you guys. So you might see that in the future, maybe a couple weeks or so, week or so. We'll see whenever I can get together with them and be able to get that done. But I appreciate you guys watching, and if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace.